Hi, thanks so much for joining us this afternoon. My name is Craig, and our focus this afternoon is visualizing data for enterprise OEMs. So we're going to talk about some ways you can embed JReport in your application, some ways our current customers are using JReport, and some more advanced integration strategies for your product. So with that said, let's go ahead and get started by talking about the highlights of the system. JReport is an advanced BI visualization platform, and the way we accomplish this is through three key areas. High performance and scalability. So first, intelligent push-down technology. This gives you the ability to offset query processing to your database, which lets the database handle computations and push back aggregation result sets, which are then stored in in-memory cubes, and allows you to access your data a lot more quickly. And this is really shines in visual analysis, which we'll show you a bit later. It's our new product, which takes full advantage of in-memory cubes. And finally, clustered servers. JReport fully supports clustering and removes single points of failure in your system and makes it a lot more scalable. So the next area is self-serviceability, and what this really boils down to is the ability to let your users, let anyone in your organization, from your most basic end users to your more advanced power users to your very advanced IT administrators, to get the data they need when they need it, regardless of experience level. So we do this through giving you a lot of interactive charts, controls, and widgets to design the reports that really help your users get what they need. And the third area is flexibility and embeddability. So first, any data source, we can connect to relational databases, big data sources like MongoDB and Hive, cloud data sources like Amazon Redshift and RDS. Next, delivering anywhere from PC to mobile. This is very important. You can obviously get your data through, through a standard PC. You can do that through the browser, but we can also give you your data on the go when you need it through our JReport mobile app. This is a native iOS app available in the App Store today. We'll show you that. Actually, we'll talk about that a bit later. And finally, customization. If you're embedding JReport into your product, you're going to want it to match the look and feel of the product. And we give you full control over customizing the look and feel of JReport once it gets integrated into your product. And what it really boils down to, and our mission, is to simplify the complexity of reporting and visualization. That's what we do. We want to make it as simple as possible for you to take a BI platform like JReport, integrate it into your product, match the look and feel, and give your users the information that they need. So on a high level, where we fit into the market, you can see on the top left more traditional BI platforms like, more complex systems. These are typically very feature-rich. But with that said, they're also a lot more expensive. They have a higher learning curve. They're more difficult to move off of, and they're most importantly difficult to seamlessly embed into your application. On the other side of the spectrum, you see open source solutions. Open source solutions, by their very nature, are going to be a little bit more easy to embed because they provide their entire code base to you. But with that said, they also have a much more limited feature set. They're less stable than a commercial tool and can be higher risk. So now let's talk about where JReport fits in between those two ends of the spectrum. JReport offers the best of both worlds. It's offers you the high feature set of the traditional BI platforms, but also the ease of embedding of the open source solutions. And to frame the discussion, most of these terms are very self-explanatory, OEM and software as a service, but I just want to sort of define them moving forward. OEM customers, we refer to customers that embed JReport into their products. They're typically hosted on-premise and have multiple instances of JReport that they're shipping to their customers. Software as a service, hosted in the cloud, offering their users browser-based access for internal or external users, and typically have a variety of licensing models for their subscribers. Now, what that all comes down to, and what it really boils down to, is the solution areas that we target. So the first solution area, which is key, is embedding through JReport Server Live. JReport Server Live is going to lay the groundwork for your entire system. JReport Server Live is meant to be seamlessly embedded and integrated into your platform or application. Now, once you've embedded the server, this server live, you want to be able to analyze your data through interactive visualization. And once you have the ability to analyze your data through products that give you enhanced visualization capabilities like JReport and visual analysis, you want to be able to deliver that information to your end users through the web or through mobile BI. So through the web, you can do that through the browser, like I mentioned earlier, or through JReport Mobile, our native mobile app available in the App Store. And essentially comes down to letting you visualize, analyze, and deliver your information. Now, I want to break down the solution areas a bit further now. So starting with embedding, since that's the main focus of our webinar today, JReport as a BI platform is going to give you customizable look and feel, so high customization capabilities for the look and feel of your application. You can customize security and administrative policies. Moving down to metadata, reports get published into catalogs and organized. You can reuse components and reports throughout your organization. And finally, development tools. We give you a comprehensive IDE to build components, reports, and dashboards, as well as analytics, and an extensive API library for your embedding. We're going to cover that a little later too. And the ways we let you visualize your information, as we talked about before, some strategies for doing that. First, an ad hoc report wizard. All through the browser, lets your users create reports on the fly, all through a browser-based interface. Visual analysis, which is one of our new products, takes advantage of powerful in-memory cubes. Very quick, allows you to drag and drop dimensions and measures onto the screen, remove them, quickly change report types, all through the browser. It's very quick and has a great interface. And then JDashboard, which is our dashboarding feature, allows you to create custom dashboards, build custom components, reuse components. Has a lot of really interesting and cool features like synchronized refresh, so when you change one component, it'll update the rest of the components on the dashboard you've created in a synchronized fashion. And like I mentioned before, we let you connect to a variety of data sources to visualize that information. Here's a sample of some of the visualization chart types and styles we offer. We can give you a variety, over 40 types of charts, from bar, bench, and line. Those are the more kind of basic ones, to the more advanced chart types like spark line, stock line, and radar. And we'd be happy to set up a custom demo to show you these chart types and styles. So information delivery was the final piece that we talked about earlier. So you want to deliver your information to your end users in a very sophisticated way. So we give you, through the web, a variety of report types, page and web reports. Page reports can be, can be formatted for print. Web reports can be designed for strictly use through the web. Pixel-perfect capable, reusable components for your dashboards. Like I mentioned before, JDashboard allows you to have customized components. Everything's fully customizable through both your web and page reports. And we want to give you the ability to basically get your users the data they need when they need it. You can schedule reports in a variety of formats to be sent to, web, PDF, Excel, email, fax, and FTP. Next, mobile. So you can see here, there's a couple screenshots of our native mobile iOS app, JReport Mobile, and JReport Mobile is it's a native iOS implementation of JReport. Basically supports interactions that are all native gestures on the iOS devices, like pinch zoom. You can scroll through by swiping. And it has rich interactions like filter, sort, drill, and pivot. It's free from the Apple App Store. Comes loaded with some sample reports. You can get that today and try it out. And we really encourage you to do that. So that's information delivery. Today on the demo, let's talk about what you'll see. So we're going to get into the embedded capabilities of JReport. talk about ad hoc reporting, show you JDashboard, and get into visual analysis a bit later. So without any further delay, I want to pass things over to Greg so that he can go ahead and show you the products. So Greg, can you hear me okay?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes. Okay, let me give you presenter controls here.
Okay, can you see my screen okay?
Yes.
Okay, so first of all, I'll start just about the architecture a little bit. And so JReport can be installed just as a WAR file within your application. And you can put the components that you want directly in your application if you want, and then talk to the JReport server through your application through Java RMI or through just URLs. So JReport server is very embeddable in your application, and you don't need to install JReport server. When you install your application, JReport is just a set of jar files and a WAR file that goes along with your application and is installed and licensed right along with your application. So let's take a look at what a report looks like. I'll start out with a report that the user can go in and modify the parameters for. And this is considered part of your application. And what you see up here is part of your application. And then when I run the report, it's sending the RMI request to JReport server to actually run the report and bring it back inside your application in an iframe. So it's very easy to allow the user to run reports and see those reports right as part of your application. And you can private label everything, so you can completely make it a seamless part of your application. You can also put commands, web commands, right in your application. For instance, to print or export to PDF, your page navigations. So you don't have to use the toolbar up above if you don't want. So this allows the user to change the parameters, rerun the report, look at things different ways without ever actually leaving your application. So let's take a look at a little more complex report. So this one has a couple of different charts on it. It allows you to do sorting just by clicking on individual column here, so we can sort ascending, sort descending if we click it again. We can drill down on individual parts of any of these charts, so we can drill down and look at the detail, and then just go back to the main report again. And another very powerful feature that you probably wouldn't be able to build if you were building your own system is we support a lot of different formats. So one of the most powerful is Excel. And so this allows you to output any report into Excel and have total control over whether it goes into columns or whether it saves the report format. Let's take a look at this. This report is a full Excel spreadsheet. It's showing up on a different window here. Move this over. And you can see that it's all native Excel chart types and formulas and things like that. So it's a full usable Excel application just as if you had built it in Excel. Okay, and then let's go on to even a more complex report. So this is a dashboard, but it's really a report, and I'll get into the actual JDashboard in a minute. But this is a report that lets the user interact with the report. For instance, all these charts allow the user to drill down so we can see more detail. So here I clicked on 2012 to drill down to each of the individual quarters. I can click on North America here to drill down to all of the North American countries. I can right-click over here and go up and down the hierarchy, as well as switch to any other dimension that we've set up. So even though you've predefined this report, the user can go through and look at it many different ways. And you can also predefined drill down reports. So like if we wanted to drill down here on exotic regular coffee, we can drill down and start another report and look at that in detail, however much detail we want. So you have total flexibility as far as building dashboards and being able to drill down and understand your data. So this is also a table, and again, you can switch the groups to basically any group that you want to. And if you do that, and the new group is longer, we will automatically create component page navigation here so that you're not replacing the entire screen, you're just going through that one component. So this, as you can see, you can build a lot of reports, and the end user can go through and modify those reports to a great extent and look at the data different ways without having to come back to you all the time and saying, can you modify this report to do this or that or the other thing every time. But maybe sometimes they will want something that is entirely different, that they can't modify one of your predefined reports for. And so they can go in and you can provide them a template which has some common things on it, and they can put in their own title here. And they can build up a similar report like that any way they want. So they have total flexibility to have multiple components and build a report just like that last one that you saw me do. Here, let's put a chart up at the top, and we'll put a table down below that shows the information that went into the chart in more detail. So you can see we're now defining the chart. Let's select the data source that we want. We'll use that same data that we've been using. And let's build a chart, let's say on category, and we'll show a series of year. And you can see all our different chart types. There's about 40 different types of charts you can use. I'll just use a standard clustered bar. And let's look at total sales. Okay, so let's do next year. And here's the detail information. So let's put some product information in here. I'll put the product ID and some order information. So I'll go up to order date, and then let's put some of the detail here. We'll put all of these in here, and let's group it by customer. And I'll do a summary on customer for their total sales. And you can put the total either in the footer or the header, and you can tell it what column to put it in. And I'll do next year, and we can choose a style sheet. So these are all standard CSS style sheets, so you can remove as many as you want and modify these or make your own. So let's take a look at that, and here I can either save the report to be scheduled later, or I can run the report right now, which I'll do. And so it showed up right behind here. So here's our report, and we can go over here into edit mode, and I can add more things onto this report if I want. So let's say we want a filter control, and I left some space up here. I can drop that filter control in, say for region. And we now have a filter that I can use just to click on it, and it will select one or more items, and you can see it automatically applies to all of the components on the report. So your end users can create their own reports just that easy. In addition, we have JDashboard, and JDashboard is similar to what you've seen, but the user can control what goes on the report more easily. So here's a dashboard that has a scrollable chart up here on top. We can move this around and look at the data, whatever section of data, because this is 2 years worth of data. So we can look at whatever part of the chart that we want. We also have an interface to Google Maps and also Street Maps, so we can build a chart like this that also interacts with the data. So when I click on Europe here, it will send a message basically to the other components of this report and also filter them by that same component. So if the user wants to modify this, though, they can move these things around. They can completely delete an item if they want, and they can build whatever dashboard components they want. So if I go over here and look at my sample components, let's say I want to look at some shipments, I can drop that in here, and we can dynamically resize that, and the user now has information by shipments added to this sales dashboard. So really they have full control over what they put on their dashboard, or even adding, building brand new dashboards if they want. So with this, in combination with the ad hoc reports and the predefined reports that you have, you can let the users really configure everything and look at the reports however they want to do it, without constantly coming back and making requests from you to make changes for them. Okay, with that, I'll go ahead and turn it over to Dean, who will show you the visual analysis part.
All right, thanks, Greg. I'm just going to wait for Craig to switch over presenter control, and I will show you guys one of our newest features called visual analysis, and it's actually a new version that we released today. So let's see if Craig can switch over to me.
Yeah, give me 1 second, Dean.
All right, just give us just another second, folks, and we'll pull up visual analysis right now. Okay, so pass me control. All right, so let me open up a web browser. I have JReport serving running on this machine. So the server is running, and this is our user console. So let me just open up the new visual analysis, and we'll get started right away. Let me just resize this window a little bit so you can see the whole thing on the screen. Okay, so visual analysis is something we released last summer. But like I said, today we have a new version of that that is, has a lot of performance enhancements and feature enhancements. So it'll become very apparent what it does fairly soon here. So let me select the data source, Worldwide Sales BV, which is a business view we set up beforehand, and we'll click OK. So what visual analysis lets you do is start from a blank canvas, similar to JDashboard, but this is in a crosstab format. So let me, and you see all the available dimensions and measures in the left side column here. So let me go ahead and drag over total sales, and I'll drag it over as a value. So I put it over in this value sign there. So you can see the aggregated total sales value in the database. It's $10 million and over $10 million. But I actually want to carve this up into something more meaningful. So let me drag over the region into the column. Okay, so I can see that number broken up into different regions. And I'll drag over sales year, so I can break that up into sales year, as well as sales quarter. Okay, so I can easily just carve the data up and look at it in different ways. This, of course, is being powered, I think Craig mentioned this before, is being powered by our in-memory cube technology. So all this data is coming from in-memory cube, which is sitting on this machine, which is what makes it so fast. Okay, so let me go ahead and I'll start to color these ranges. So I'll select total sales, the measure total sales, and I'll put it into the color by option here. Right, so now for whatever high values, they're colored a deeper blue color, and the lower values are a lighter blue color. I can even change that, but it's pretty easy to change that gradient color to, let's say, green. I can add even another measure, total cost, into the values so that each of the cells has two entries, total sales and total cost. But It's a little bit too messy, so I just want to remove total cost from there. Okay? So I'm back to this, and I can even rotate the rows and columns really easy with a rotate button. So I'm seeing the regions on the left on the row side, and the sales year and sales quarter on the column side. Let me go ahead and delete the color by. So I'm left with just a very black default color. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to change I don't want to look at the values, but I want to look at this in a bar chart format. So I can easily drag, oops, I missed it there. So I can easily drag total sales into the row here. And now I can see everything in a bar chart kind of format. All right, so let me go ahead and add sales month. Let's see, so I can add sales month to the column here. I can see that broken into month. And then what I want to do is I want to set the region as a filter. So I can easily click on that, and I can say use as filter, and it'll show up at the bottom here. I want to change this into not checkboxes, but a radio buttons. All right, and then I want to select just North America. I don't want to see all the different regions, but I just want to focus in on North America. Let me go ahead and delete sales year and sales quarter to clean things up a little bit. I just want to see sales month, so I can easily see that. And what I want to do is sort this. Okay, so I click on sales month, and I click sort, but I want to sort in descending order. And I want to sort on total, let's see, total sales. Okay, so total sales here, and I'll click OK. So now I'm seeing everything sorted in descending order. All right, so let me go ahead and rotate that again from a bar to a bench chart, and I will go ahead and add the product category. Where is product category? Okay, product category. And I want to color this by product category. So right now I'm seeing all the products together. When I add the coloration in here, I can see the coloring is by product category. All right, I'm going to replace sales month with sales quarter because I don't want to look at that month granularity anymore. So I can easily just drag over sales quarter, and then I can add sales year back in. Okay, and then I want to rotate this back to a bar chart. And I'll go ahead and just simplify things and delete the, oops, I will delete the category here so that it's all one color. All right, so now I want to look at it in a different way. I want to look at this as a line chart. Okay, so you can easily just select line chart from a bench chart. I want to go ahead and select all the regions. And I also want to add something new, a product type. Into the product, sorry, I want to add product type into the color by. So I want to break this up into product type. So now I'm seeing this coffee data broken up into decaf and regular. Let me click on the region filter. I want to look at North America again. And I want to add, I want to replace the product type because I didn't want to look at that. It doesn't tell me too much. I want to go back to the category. So I can easily replace product type with category so I can see all the different categories there. And then I'll just do a filter on the product type instead. So I can just drag product type over to the filter. And I can see that it has all decaf and regular. I can take away decaf, and but let me just actually put them all back in. All right, then I will just delete the color by the category. And I want to show you one more type of way we can represent this is shapes. So I can select the shape here. Okay, so it's just a very simple one value bar, ball right now. But let me go ahead and add the total cost, okay, to the column. All right, and then I'll add total quantity. I'll do a size by total quantity. So that's this one here. So you haven't seen this one before. Okay, so now you can see that the different quantities there. The ball size is now based on the quantity. Okay, I'll delete the sales quarter. So I'm looking only at sales year, and I want to just make this a little bit larger by 30%. So I can drag this over like that, 30% larger, and I will go ahead and add. I want to split this up into more categories. So I'll add the category back in as the color by. So now you can see all the different categories of the products colored by a different color. I want to do something new and add the country, all right? The country as the shape by. So now the countries are in different shapes, okay? So you have all these different shapes, and it's very easy to change the shape of the country. Oops, I just click on the shape button here. And let's say I want to change Canada to a triangle. So now I can change that. All right, so now let's look at just APAC, Asia, the region of Asia. Okay. Then I can remove the shape by. Let's see, remove the shape by, it's down here. And remove the size by. So I'm just left with that category there as a color by. Removes total costs and total sales, so I can see something more simplified. And then I can then change it very easily to a pie chart. Okay, it's a little bit big right now, so I'll shrink that back down to 100%. And almost done here. This is the last thing I'll show you is adding total sales as a slice by. So that's a new one for a pie chart. So total sales, that is down here. And adding that to slice by. So now you can see the different slices, the different sizes of the slices are based on total sales now. And then I can just do something very simple like replacing that with country. All right, let's see, country is up here, and I can put that as the category. All right, so there you go. You can just spin the representation of your data very easily, very quickly. It's a very powerful tool to let you see different measures, dimensions. You can rotate, you can change from line to bar to shape to pie, all very easily. And customers are finding this a very easy tool to analyze your data even further. So with that, I'll turn it back to Craig. Thank you.
All right, thanks a lot, Dean. Just give me one moment. I'm going to put my slides back on the screen here. Okay. So again, thanks, Dean, for that demo of VA. And again, everyone who's here, we would encourage you to send your questions in on the right side of the screen. There's a questions box there you should be able to just type into. We're going to make sure we get to all of your questions, and we're even going to read some of them at the end. So I'd like to before we end today's webinar, talk a bit about go a bit deeper into integration and how we do that. Talk about some of our customers, and then next steps. I would say at this point it would make sense to get into how we integrate typically into different deployment setups. So let me start with with this slide, which I feel like gives you a very good kind of overview of the different integration, both deployment integration and functional integrations. First, on the y-axis here, you can see standalone instance of JReport. Now, JReport's standalone out of the box. It's just an installer wizard-based setup. This fully self-contained reporting system runs on any Java JDK-enabled platform, and there's no programming required. You can navigate to it from directly through the browser. Just point your browser to it. You can get in, and I'll talk a bit more about the functionalities of that standalone instance of JReport later. So next is the server integration. Now, the server integration, JReport server can be packaged as an EAR or WAR file and basically dropped into your application server, whether it's typically Tomcat or JBoss. These are two good examples of application servers. It's a small footprint. It's an easy integration there. And with that said, let's talk about what takes the integration one step further to your application. This is the crux of it here. So for application embedding, basically you're taking a jar file. That's our typical use case. Take a jar file, drop it into your application. JReport can be packaged as a jar file, which is then integrated into your application and then shipped to your customers. Now, those are the three types of deployment integrations. So next you have functional integrations. First, standalone JReport. In order to access the reports, you can point your browser directly to JReport. You can navigate to either the user console or admin console and generate reports that way. You can just launch reports straight out of the browser. So it's fully web-based. with minimal, system admin involvement. Next, URL. URL. You could pass parameters through URLs. You can basically create control reporting through your own UI, integrate into any web layer technology. It's very simple. I'm going to cover that in a few slides later here, how you can pass parameters through URLs. And finally, JReport APIs. We provide extensive library of JReport APIs your application can communicate with through these APIs. So these allow you to free up developer resources and control all aspects of your reporting workflow for full integration into your application. So with that said, I want to get a bit deeper into the UI of the server. So this is what the user console looks like here. You can launch reports directly out of this this user console. You can actually see the individual reports there. You can control schedules of reports. You can control in the admin console. You can also control specific security layout and things like that. So this is all just out of the box functional. It's all through JSP pages, so they're fully customizable. And you can access all reporting functionality through the JReport UI. This is straight out of the box. Now back to the UI integration. I want to show you some examples of these functional integrations. We just talked about the admins that ship out of the box. So here's some specific examples. Now, with URL integration, I put up an example to call our report by URL here. It's a very simple example here. You're pointing to the server. You are navigating the specific report catalog. As you can see here, I'm not sure if you can see my mouse, calling the specific report and then dictating what result type you want to call back, what report type you want to bring back. Now, the specific example here, Greg just showed you in his demo, he was in the JReport demo site. That's essentially an application we've made and embedded JReport into. So in this specific example, we are using essentially URLs to pull back reports in that site. If you were to click on dashboard, for instance, a dashboard report, we would essentially send a URL once you clicked on that dashboard to call that specific dashboard report back in the catalog, display on screen. That's all through an iframe via URL integration. So it's very, very simple, highly customizable, and that's why a lot of our customers have chosen us, which we'll talk about later. APIs, more on some typical examples. So as I mentioned before, we give you a wide range of APIs in our JReport API library, which allows your application to basically control all functions of JReport programmatically. And some typical uses would be listing and linking resources for users, scheduling tasks, exporting reports via PDF, Excel, HTML, however you decide to do that. And here's some sample lines of code here, how you would, set your report home, how you would, set your report home server, for instance, or how you would search the running server, specifying the default host and the port string. So that's basically how you would go about that. And we have a full knowledge base online which details all this, and we can show you this in more detail on a customized demo. Now, security is a huge part of integration as well into your application. So JReport supports a few very important parts of security principles here, so ways to manage your users. First, out of the box, JReport supports, like I mentioned before, through the console, a native user management system. You can manage all your users through the JReport admin console. You can set authentication and permissions through that console. You can log in directly. That is just native, out of the box. But if you want to take it a step further, if you have an LDAP system, you can actually import your own users and groups from your LDAP system, configure those through the JReport admin console, set permissions. It'll just all pass through for easy integration into an existing system. We have a lot of customers using that. And finally, single sign-on. We support single sign-on as well, and that's a big part of our product. Customization as well. I mentioned before that the JReport console itself is all fully customizable through JSP pages. You can change things that are seemingly hard-coded in those consoles to reflect your own application identity if you'd like. You can change the look and feel, the colors, everything. It's fully customizable. Reports are actually created in JReport Designer by your development team and uploaded to JReport Server Live to be used within your organization. So those are fully customizable as well. And you can save those templates that you make in JReport Designer for reuse throughout your organization. Now, so this webinar is about embedding, in OEM use cases. So I think it would be, it's very relevant to discuss how important OEM is to our entire user base. I mean, as you can see here, we're very proud of our 94% customer retention rate. Of our customer base, about 62 are OEM. So we have a large percentage using OEM, JReport in an OEM fashion, and 86% are using JReport in an embedded fashion. So, standalone usage is not our sweet spot. Embedding is. So we want to give you basically give you the full control over making it as easy as possible to embed JReport into your application and system. Now, here's a snapshot of our global customer base here. We're not going to get too deep into all these. Obviously, I'm just going to target a couple. But what I want you to take away from this slide is how many different industries we work with here. We work with a variety of industries worldwide, and we have, we're proud of a lot of our partnerships here. So to talk about a couple of the specific partnerships and OEM customers we have, let's just first start with Visa. Visa is actually using JReport, through their VIS Select application. And through VIS Select, there's over 15,000 companies running JReport embedded into that application. They fully customized JReport to work in VIS Select. So in their application, reports run on more than 1,200 commercial cardholder accounts, each with over 1 million cardholders. And all these, this is a huge system. So they're mission critical reports, and they're using failed-safe cluster technology, highly scalable system there to serve their massive amount of users. We're very proud to be working with Visa. Next, IBM. So we're also very proud to be working with IBM too. Now, it's very important to point out that in spite of owning Cognos, IBM has embedded us into. We show 5 here, 5 applications. So InfoSphere, Tivoli, Netcool, and Lotus Learning Management. I put the specific application names here. If you'd like to find out a bit more about how we work with them, we'd be happy to talk about that and set up a custom demo. Now, they chose us because of our customization capabilities, and they're very happy with JReport. We're happy to be working with them. And next, Bosh. Bosh is a good example. Very cool product. The telehealth system, they use us in their Health Buddy health management program, which is basically a remote health management program so that physicians can track their patients remotely. And JReport allows Bosh's customers to be able to access extremely dynamic reports. We provide a stable reporting platform so that these users can quickly review and monitor their patients dynamically. So a very cool use case there. Now, a couple things before we move on here. We're at the end, but we definitely want to make sure that we address any of your questions that you have. So first, again, I would encourage you to type in any questions you have. To go ahead and send them in through the questions box on the right side of your screen, and we will definitely get to those, whether it's on this demo or we'll definitely reach out to you after the webinar. But I actually wanted to go ahead and read a few questions as they came in. So if you give me one moment, Greg, are you still on the line there?
Yes, go ahead.
Great. So let me actually ask you a few questions that are coming in now. The first question is, how does JReport work with single sign-on?
The basic technology is that we use our API, and we can register an interface that the user writes that we call instead of bringing up a login screen. We will ask your application the credentials for that user. and so the user will never have to log in twice. It's a very simple application. We've got samples of it. In fact, you saw it working in the demo that I did. So the application, the JBoss application that I was working with, JReport was actually asking JBoss for the JReport user information. So when I logged into JBoss, it uses the JBoss authentication and then just told JReport who the user was when I ran the report.
Got it. Okay. Thank you, Greg, for that. Another question here. It seems that JReport can be integrated, but please comment about performance.
Well, companies like Visa and HSBC we've been working with many years, and we have analyzed the performance down to the method level and just gone through many iterations to make sure that there just are no performance bottlenecks in JReport. So as soon as we find one, we remove that and go on to the next one. So we have gone through JReport to ensure that it can do things like with HSBC, able to produce over 20,000 reports per hour on a single system. So JReport has, particularly with the OLAP cubes and stuff, or even going directly to the database, has incredible performance.
Okay. Here's another one. I understand JReport is using Java and JSP, but can we still use JReport if our application is written on .NET or other platforms such as PHP or Python?
Yeah, it really doesn't matter. The application that I was using happened to be a JBoss application written in Java, but it could have been an ASP.NET application or any other type of web application. As long as the user is interfacing with your application with a browser, then it's really transparent because most of the calls are done via URL, and pretty much everything like scheduling a report, running a report, viewing the results of a report, all of that can be done using either the API or just URLs which use the same underlying APIs, but totally within JReport. So your application can really be written in anything without any penalty.
Okay. Thanks, Greg. And one more question here, about training specifically, mainly what the learning curve is like, as well as how we can help, how we can help out.
Well, we usually sell JReport with a quick start program. And it's 4 or 5 days of training, and within that time we not only train you on JReport, but we also train you actually to use your own data and build reports with your own data, build dashboards. So just within a few days we can get your developers up and running and creating production quality reports with your own system.
Great. Yeah, absolutely. We love to stress that we're very big on professional services. We can help you in a variety of ways, whether it's embedding or training. So with that said, we are at the end of our webinar today. And again, please send your questions in. We'll definitely get to those. I wanted to just cover a few next steps here. First, we highly encourage you to try JReport 12. You can download it from our website right now. We actually just released JReport 12 Update 2 today, so it's very, it's a great time to get it. Daily live demos, we do a daily live demo every weekday at 2 p.m. You can sign up directly on our website. It's a very, very cool thing we're happy to do for our customers. And finally, for more info, you can email me directly. You can email Greg. Go ahead and call us. If you have any questions whatsoever, we'd be happy to set up a customized demo for you, so that we can talk about how we can embed specifically in your application. We would be happy to do that. So thanks so much for joining us, and I'm actually going to keep this up until 3 o'clock, and please send your questions in. Thank you so much, and have a great day.